Hi everyone and welcome to your Vipers this week. Today we are going to read the story, The Crocodile Who Didn't Like Water. How bizarre! So let's begin by looking at some questions relating to our story today. So the first question is going to ask you to look at the book cover, and I want you to think about who is the author and the illustrator, and what kind of text do you think this might be? So our next question for today, which is prediction, is, from looking at the book cover, what do you think this book will be about? And I want you to use the sentence, I think, or I think this because. Okay? You can write your prediction in a sentence if you'd like, so you can stop the video now and write the sentence of your prediction. So now you've made your prediction of the front of the cover, we are going to listen to the blurb, and that is at the back of the book, and you can see it matches what's on the screen. Okay? And I want you to think about, is your prediction still the same? So everybody knows that crocodiles love water. Well, not this crocodile. He doesn't like water at all. In fact, he prefers climbing trees. Could it be that the little crocodile isn't a crocodile at all? So now you've listened to that blurb, do you still think the same? If you do not think the same, then you can write another sentence explaining what you think is going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to share the story with you now. Okay, so let's take a look. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. So just bear with me 2 seconds, you. And let's begin our story. The crocodile who didn't like water. Once upon a time, there was a little crocodile. And this little crocodile didn't like water. And you can see he's standing outside the bathtub there. He longed to play with his brothers and sisters, but they were far too busy with swim club. And this little crocodile didn't like swimming. What he really liked was climbing trees. But nobody else did, so he was very lonely. It was lonely having nobody to play with, so the little crocodile made a decision. He had saved up his money from the tooth fairy, and he knew exactly what to buy with it. The next afternoon, he took his new rubber ring over to the water. Today, he would play with his brothers and sisters. But he couldn't play ball or swim under the water. And although climbing the ladder was fun, he just didn't want to jump. But he didn't want to be alone, so he decided to try one last time. 1, 2, 2.5, 3! Splosh! Glug! Help! Cried the crocodile. How do you think he is feeling? This little crocodile definitely hated water. It was cold, it was wet, and it was embarrassing. I wonder what embarrassing means. But then something strange happened. His nose began to tickle, and the tickle grew and grew and grew until, achoo! What has come out of his mouth? This little crocodile didn't like water because he wasn't a crocodile at all. He was a dragon, and this little dragon wasn't born to swim. He was born to breathe fire. Where do you think they're going on their adventure? And he was born to fly. And that is the end of our story today, Year 1. So let's have a look at some questions that we could answer from the text. So let's double check. So we are going to look now at some inferring kind of questions, okay? So that means you have to think, okay? So what does the crocodile like doing instead of swimming? Why do you think he doesn't like swimming? And then finally, I would like you to try and look at this explain question. So do you like this text? What did you like about it? What happened when the crocodile sneezed? And then finally, can you summarize in a sentence the opening, middle, end of the story? And then just to finish off, some extra activity for you today, Year 1. Imagine you are the crocodile. How would you feel if you didn't like water? What would you do differently? Okay, so would you prefer to do a different activity? And then the last one is, can you draw your favourite character and describe it using adjectives? So this is similar to what we did last week. And then could you use them in the sentence? That is the end of our comprehension this week, Year 1. I hope you have enjoyed it. Come back next week for another lesson. Bye, Year 1.